Hello students, welcome to aimsindia online classes. This is a chemistry session. Here we are discussing about water. In this session we are going to see about hydrated salts and anhydrous salts. What are hydrated salts and what are anhydrous salts? Why they are called so we are going to see in this session. First let us go through the hydrated salts. A hydrated salt is a crystalline salt molecule that is loosely attached to a certain number of water molecules. So we'll be observing daily some salts in our regular usage. So certain salts, they contain some number of water molecules attached to the salt molecules in them. Such salts which are having loosely attached water molecules to their molecules are called hydrated salts. Hydrated salts are naturally, they occur all over the world, including in the fresh water also. A small quantities of these hydrated salts are present in even in fresh water also. They are available all over the world. So what are these hydrated salts? The crystalline salts which are containing certain number of water molecules loosely attached to their molecules. They are called hydrated salts. So because of the presence of these water molecules attached to their molecules, they attain crystalline nature. And even many of these crystalline salts are colored also. They attain this color also because of water molecules presence. So these kind of salts are called hydrated salts. See here, different hydrated salts are having certain colors to them, isn't it? And even all they are crystalline in nature. This crystalline nature and color is because of the presence of these water molecules attached to their molecules. Okay, these salts are called hydrated salts. Hydrated salts may absorb the water molecules from the water vapor in the air or become hydrated when in contact with liquid water. So these salts, they may take these water molecules either from the atmospheric air, from the water vapor, or when they come in contact with the liquid water also. By taking these water molecules, they become hydrated and crystalline nature. Then such salts are called hydrated salts. Let us see some examples here for the hydrated salts. One of them is hydrated copper sulfate. See, it is in the blue color crystalline solid. So this blue color for this copper sulfate is because of the presence of water molecules attached to their molecules and this crystalline nature, and this color is because of the water molecules attached to it. Such a salt is called hydrated salt. So actually here copper sulfate means CuSO4. As it is attached with certain water molecules here, it is called hydrated copper sulfate. In this, each molecule of copper sulfate is surrounded and attached by 5 water molecules. That's why its molecular formula is written as CuSO4 5H2O. One more hydrated salt is hydrated ferrous sulfate, iron salt. So it is also crystalline salt. Because of the existence of water molecules, it is getting this crystal nature as well as particular color, like green color. So this is called hydrated ferrous sulfate. In this, each molecule of ferrous sulfate is attached with 7 water molecules loosely. That is why its molecular formula is written as FeSO4 7H2O, hydrated ferrous sulfate. One more, hydrated magnesium sulfate. So here magnesium sulfate molecule is attached with 7 water molecules. That's why its molecular formula is written as MgSO4 7H2O and is known as hydrated magnesium sulfate. Okay, in this way certain salts are attached with a certain number of water molecules to their molecules. Because of the presence of these water molecules, those salts attain crystalline nature and particular color to them. Such salts are called hydrated salts. When when it is hydrated, magnesium sulfate becomes magnesium sulfate heptahydrate. Means when magnesium sulfate is hydrated, each molecule of magnesium sulfate will be attached with 7 water molecules. So this number of water molecules is also announced in this molecular formula in the form of magnesium sulfate heptahydrate. Here heptahydrate represents attachment of 7 water molecules to each magnesium sulfate molecule. That's why it is called magnesium sulfate heptahydrate. The chemical compound is represented as MgSO4 7H2O. The hydrated magnesium sulfate is also known as Epsom salt. Of course, these hydrated salts, many of them, they're having different common names also. If you say copper sulfate, CuSO4 5H2O, it is commonly called blue vitriol. And ferrous sulfate, M, uh, FeSO4 7H2O. This is as light green in color, it is called green vitriol. This magnesium sulfate, MgSO4 7H2O, is also called Epsom salt. Okay, and in this 7H2O in this molecular formula meant to show that the magnesium sulfate molecule is bound to 7 water molecules. So in the its a chemical formula, it is represented along with MgSO4 7H2O. This 7H2O represents attachment of 7 water molecules to one molecule of that magnesium sulfate. Okay, now let us another kinds of salts. They are anhydrous salts. The salts which do not contain water of crystallization are called anhydrous salts. If the water of crystallization is removed, then the compound is said to be anhydrous. In the earlier case, we have seen about hydrated salts. So they contain water molecules in their molecule, attached to their molecules. If that water molecules are removed, then that becomes anhydrous salts, and it becomes amorphous also. So by the presence of water molecules, those salts are being crystalline and colored. When that water molecules are removed, they become amorphous salt as well as colorless salts. Hydrated salts on strong heating also they lose their water of crystallization and give rise to anhydrous salts. Okay, hydrated salts means salt molecules with water molecules presence, and anhydrous salts means the salts without water molecules presence. So on heating strongly, hydrated salts lose their water of crystallization and give rise to anhydrous salts. For example, sodium carbonate decahydrate, which is also called hydrated sodium carbonate, Na2CO3 10H2O. In this, sodium carbonate molecule is attached with 10 water molecules. So because of the presence of these 10 water molecules, this sodium carbonate will be crystalline in nature. So when it is strongly heated, it changes to anhydrous sodium carbonate by the loss of water molecules. In this way, say after loss of water molecules, it became powdery, anhydrous salt. So with the water molecules, it is being hydrated crystalline solids. So on heating, it loses that water molecules and becomes anhydrous salt. That is called anhydrous sodium carbonate. So hydrated salts on heating, they lose their water molecules and they become anhydrous salts. Okay. Next, water of crystallization. We told here hydrated salts are containing water molecules in them. That water molecules are called water of crystallization. In chemistry, water of crystallization or water of hydration, which is also known as crystallization water, is a water that occurs inside the crystals of salts. Water is often necessary for the formation of crystals. Here, the number of water molecules present in one molecule of a hydrated salt is called water of crystallization. What is this? The number of water molecules present in the one molecule of an hydrated salt is called water of crystallization. So, because of the presence of this water only, salts are existing in the crystallized form. That's why these number of water molecules present in one molecule of that salt is called as water of crystallization. Classically, water of crystallization refers to water that is found in the crystalline framework of a salt. For example, the water of crystallization of Epsom salt. In the earlier case, we have seen magnesium sulfate or hydrated magnesium sulfate. For this, the water of crystallization is taken as 7 because here each molecule of magnesium sulfate is attached with 7 water molecules. So, its the water of crystallization is taken as 7. If you see sodium carbonate, decahydrate, means hydrated sodium carbonate. In each molecule of sodium carbonate, there are 10 water molecules attached to it. Hence, its water of crystallization is taken as 10. Okay. Now, hydrated salts lose water of crystallization on heating and converts into anhydrous salts. Hydrated salts have specific colors, whereas anhydrous salts are having no color or they become colorless. See here, for example, copper sulfate, which is as hydrated copper sulfate. It is in blue color and it is a crystalline solid. When it is heated, it loses water of crystallization and becomes anhydrous salt, powdery salt, and even it loses its color also. It becomes colorless or white. So that is the main difference between the hydrated salts and anhydrous salts. Okay. Now let us go through making of water safe for drinking. How to make this water safe for drinking. Even clear water also may not be safe for drinking because it might contain harmful bacteria and germs. It seems as pure water, but it may contain invisible bacteria and germs which is not safe for drinking. So there are three ways to eliminate these harmful microorganisms from the water to make it safe for drinking. One of them is boiling. Small quantities of water can be made safe for drinking purpose by boiling it for 10 to 15 minutes. So during this time, all the germs and bacteria present in the water are killed and then water becomes safe for drinking. So it is generally done at our homes, isn't it? Small quantity of water will be boiled for 10 to 15 minutes. By the time all the germs and bacteria present in the water will be killed and hence that water becomes safe for drinking. And one more method is chemical treatment. Actually, the boiling of water is time consuming and even expensive also because for small quantity of water only we have to heat it around 10 to 15 minutes on the gas, isn't it? So it is actually a time consuming and even expensive also. So to avoid this difficulty, water is treated with chlorine or chlorine gas, which kills the germs and bacteria. So they will pass a high chlorine gas into big tanks containing water. So this chlorine gas, when passed into the water, it kills the germs and bacteria present in the water, and thus water becomes safe for drinking. Okay, it is one of the simple method. Passing of chlorine gas into water tanks. By that, germs and bacteria will be killed. Generally, explorers and soldiers are supplied with chlorine or hydrogen halogen tablets because the soldiers and explorers they cannot carry pure water for long distances. So they have to take the water which is available in that particular area. But it may not be safe to drink that directly. It should be disinfected before drinking. For that purpose, the soldiers and explorers, they'll carry chlorine tablets with them. So before drinking water, they add this chlorine tablet into that water present in that area, so that they can kill the bacteria and germs present in that water, and thus they can take that water for drinking purpose. When these tablets are dissolved in water, they liberate chlorine gas which kills the germs and bacteria. Thus, water becomes safe for drinking. One more method is ultraviolet radiation passage. Water purifiers used at our homes not only removing undissolved impurities but also kill germs in water by passing ultraviolet radiation through it. So when ultraviolet radiation is passed through the water, it kills the germs present in the water. Now let us see about conservation of water. How to conserve the water. One of the most important steps in conservation of water is to prevent wastage of precious water. So we can, if you preserve the water, if you don't waste the water, it comes under the conservation of water. Small efforts to prevent wastages like leaking of water, spilling of water will help in water conservation. Some of other methods, let us see here. One of them is rainwater harvesting, which is very important. By making pits near buildings where rainwater can be made flow into recharge the groundwater. Even we can preserve this rainwater by collecting into tanks also. So this comes under rainwater harvesting. And if you allow this rainwater to sink into the sink pits, and it recharges the groundwater level. And another method is drip irrigation. So by this also we can conserve the water. It is a technique by which plants are watered directly at their base, reducing the wastage of water. Instead of flowing water beside the plants like streams, if you make them to drop by drop at the direct roots of their plants, so we can conserve the many water. We can reduce the wastage of water by that. And one more method is recycling of wastewater. Wastewater can be chemically treated for reuse. It is not fit for drinking. It can be used for washing clothes and watering plants. For these all other purposes, we can use this treated water. After recycling, that water can be used for these purposes. Of course, we cannot drink that water, but it can be used in the other ways. By that also, we can conserve the water by recycling wastewater. So, certain water may be collected, certain wastewater may be collected from certain factories and industries. That water, instead of allowing that water to reach these canals and lakes, it can be reused by recycling it. Okay, that is one of the methods for conservation. One more, cleaning existing water reservoirs. Deseeding of lakes, ponds, and cleaning of rivers will help in recharging the groundwater, isn't it? It might be completely covered with mud and algae, these lakes and rivers. If it is clean, so water can sink into the ground and it can recharge the groundwater level. So by this cleaning process also we can conserve the water. We can increase the groundwater levels. And one more method, afforestation, which is also very important. Planting of trees help in increasing of rainfall, and not only in that, and prevents the soil erosion, thereby recharging groundwater. Okay, with all procedures we can conserve the water and we can increase the groundwater level by recharging it. Okay, thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our YouTube channel Aims Today and visit our website aimstoday.in for latest updates on recorded videos.